Okay, before we can assess who our audience are, okay, so you can ask yourself or you can observe, okay, your audience level, okay. So it is suggested that we can assess our audience level using these four categories, okay. So the first one is literacy, okay. So what is literacy? Okay, so we understand that literacy is the ability to read and write, okay. So we have to assess whether our audience can read, okay, the information that we presented, okay, and also whether they can use it. Also mean if they can understand images and other symbols, okay, that you present on your visual, okay. So it will help you to make sure that or ensure that information can be conveyed to your audience, okay. So data visualization allows you to share information in low literacy areas in the field, okay. So besides using words, okay, you can use symbols, okay, illustration, animations, and other universally understood graphics, okay. um, for example, in this COVID-19 situation, if you want to produce some infographic, okay, so how do you present that image, okay, of COVID-19? Okay, so you can use the icon of the germs of COVID-19, okay, instead of putting the words, okay, you can use that symbols or that illustration, okay. So the information is conveyed, okay, to the user by looking at the symbols or illustration, okay. And then second is by knowing their level of numerical literacy, okay. So of course, okay, not all people love mathematics, okay. So even educated audiences are not always comfortable with data and math, okay. So do they understand ratios? Do they understand complex formulas or even statistics, okay. So it is also important, okay, once you know who your audience is or are, okay, then you will know, okay, whether that numerical data, okay, has to be simplified or not, okay. So as I said, okay, as it's being mentioned in the previous slide, okay, if there are technical audience, so you can just use that numerical data information. So otherwise, okay, if they are not comfortable with numbers, so you have to simplify, okay, the data, okay. So that is the second one, yeah, numerical literacy. And the third one is to assess their education level or technical expertise level. People who are educated may not be experts in some specific areas, okay, even though I am expert, okay, in some areas, so I might not be knowing everything, okay, in my area. So so you have to remember that we have to simplify the content and define terms, okay, for less technical audience, okay, but we can provide more detail for those with expertise. So always remember, okay, that there are variety of your audience, okay. So you have to simplify your content, define the terms, okay, because we have to consider, okay, this less technical audience, okay. But for those with expertise, you can provide, okay, more detailed information on top of the fundamental information, okay. And then the fourth one is job function, okay. So you have to consider the purpose of data visualization, okay. So if the audience is a policy maker, so he might want a high level results, okay, from a survey to guide decision to be made by them, okay. So and then for example, a program manager may only be interested in data relevant to their topic and region. So that's why, okay, you have to know, okay, the audience, who your audience are, because when you know their job function, okay, you will present, okay, the right context or the right information context or the right data context that can suit, okay, that can serve, okay, the purpose, okay, of these people, okay, because they need this information or this visualization, okay, to support them to make decisions. So it has to go through the right context at the right job function, okay, of your audience. Okay, so these are the 4 categories to assess your audience level: literacy, numerical literacy, education or technical expertise level, and also job function. And then you have also to know your audience categories. Okay, so there are suggested that there are 5 audience categories, okay, that you can use, okay, that helps you or that can guide you on assessing, okay, your audience. Okay, so the first one is novice. So novice is a person who is a newbie, who has very little knowledge about the subject. Okay, so they have first exposure to the subject. Okay, but of course they don't want oversimplification. Okay, so you have to have some check and balance. Okay, so it's not too simple, okay, it's not too complex, okay, because they are just okay just have first exposure to the subject. Okay, we call them as novice. And then second is generalist. Okay, so generalist is people who are aware of the topic, okay, but they are looking for overview understanding. Okay, and overview understanding and major themes. Okay, so so these are audience of this type of or category of generalists. And then we have managerial. Okay, so managerial in an organization. Okay, so they want to know in-depth, okay, in-depth information. Okay, actionable understanding of intricacies. Okay, and also interrelationship with access to detail, because they need, okay, detailed information, because it helps them to make decision, because they are managers in organization. Okay, so which is different, they have different perceptions than generalist and novice. Okay, so generalist could be someone in the public who just, okay, observe the situation, the issue, and you just want to know the information. Okay, because you're not really interested, okay, in knowing detailed information, but you want to be aware of the topic. So that is generalist. Okay, we can say that these are public people. Okay, novice is just newcomer, okay, or new one that is just exposed to that information. Okay, and then we have experts. Okay, so experts, of course, experts, they need more exploration, okay, and discovery, okay, and less storytelling with great detail. So meaning that they want very detailed information, because it helps them to build up, okay, their knowledge or expand their knowledge, okay, about that particular subject. Okay, so they might want that knowledge, okay, or that information to help them to expand their research, okay, their research, so that they will get more answers, okay, for all the, okay, for all the questions, okay, for all the things that you want to explore more, okay, from the visualization that you produce. Okay, and then the last one is executive. So executive is a top management, like CEO. Okay, CEO, they just want results, like in a cabinet organization. Okay, we have prime minister and we have ministers. Okay, so prime ministers just want to know the significance and the conclusion. Okay, but ministers at different department, they are the one who will do the detailed investigation. Okay, and then they just present, okay, what is the summary finding, okay, to executive. So executive only has time to obtain significance and conclusion. Okay, by the way, okay, managerial, expert and executive audience, okay, they need all those information to help them making decision, but it will depends on their level in an organization. Okay, so as we know, like for example, executive, they will actually endorse, okay, the final decision, okay, before next action can be taken. Okay, so why your audience matters. Okay, so this is to recap back why, okay, we have been discussing this. Okay, okay, so these are the reason. Okay, so the first one, so identifying a target audience provide a clear focus, okay, a clear focus of whom your business will serve and why those consumers need your goods or services. So determining this information also keeps a target audience at a manageable level. Okay, so meaning that once we know our target audience, we can provide clear focus. Okay, how can we analyze the information? Okay, how can we present the right information, okay, to the audience? For example, in a business situation, of course our audience is the consumer. Okay, so if you want our consumer to consume our product and services, so make sure that we can produce the right information, okay, with the right visualization that they can understand. Okay, so that it will help them. Okay, for example, okay, you can take any industry in automotive industry, for example Proton. Okay, so Proton has so many many products. Okay, so we have X70, Proton Persona, Proton whatnot, Proton Saga, and so on. Now we are having Proton X50. Okay, so how can we present, okay, information to them? Okay, for example, of course a consumer will want to know, okay, the performance of this car, okay, of a car as compared to another model, because they are buying not a very expensive product. Okay, so they want to know, okay, detailed information about each product. So if you can produce, for example, if you go to the car showroom, you will get like a pamphlet. Okay, so the pamphlet will give information or will give some idea or for the potential customer, okay, to understand, okay, the how does the car function, okay, what is the ability of the car, okay, and so on. So that is very important. Okay, so if your visualization, okay, the pamphlet is very interesting, okay, they can understand, okay, they can like differentiate from one model performance with another model's performance. Okay, so it might help that organization to gain, okay, to have customers, okay, that will eventually buy their product. Okay, so and of course, okay, before okay, any organization, when they want to produce a product, okay, they will want to know what are their audience's requirements for a product. So by knowing, okay, their audience, okay, so they will manage, okay, their target audience. Okay, it helps them to manage their target audience. So they know that, for example, X50 and X50 probably is suitable for younger generation, probably. Okay, so they know what younger generation wants to have in a car. Okay, for example, you might want to have okay, internet access in the car, because the younger generation, they now always get connected to the social media and so on. So by knowing who are the target audience and what are their requirements can help an organization, okay, to manage, okay, their target audience. Okay, and then, okay, the first and most important consideration is your audience. Okay, this is very, very important, so you have to always remember this, the first and most important. Okay, because knowing knowing your audience will help you to guide you to know what are the preferences of your audiences. Okay, and then every other decision about your visualization, for example, the dissemination mode, okay, the graph type, the formatting, and more. Okay, so do they prefer to present, okay, to view the visuals, okay, through Instagram, social media, or they just prefer, do they prefer pamphlet? I don't think so. So now we are more towards paperless environment, kan? So now you might just provide them with QR code. Okay, so QR code, and then they can just, okay, check it from their mobile devices, and they will view the visualization. Okay, so that's the way. I mean, you have to know your audience preferences, okay, because it will also cover or get you some idea on what are the dissemination mode, okay, what are the graph type, and the formatting, and more. Okay, the formatting meaning that how you're going to present your charts, okay, in the right format for a particular audience. Okay, so for younger, for example, for children, of course, their formatting, the design will be different for adults, okay, adult audience. Okay, and then being aware of the audience background, will affect audience engagement, okay, and the way they relate to the finding in the data pattern. Okay, so audience engagement is very important because once your audience can engage the information that you are presenting, okay, so it helps you to for example, for business organization, it helps them to get more feedback, okay, from their audience. Okay, so as you know that it is very important, data visualization is to help users to understand data that you're producing. Okay, the data is produced in charts, where the charts will reveal some data patterns that will help them to understand the overall subject matter, or for example, from at managerial level, help them to make decision.